But that's the thing, creatives are always authentic. Is that true? Are creatives always authentic? Or is there a difference between authentic when you express yourself through your art versus being authentic, for example, in an interaction, when it can feel like stakes are much higher because how will the other person perceive us? This is such a common issue that the moment we feel something could depend on someone's perception of us, no matter if it is in a conversation about what we say, or for example, our art or service or product, whatever we might present or sell to someone else, that our natural self-expression, our authenticity, our natural way of being kind of shrinks. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with it. And you're just not yourself anymore because, oh my God, these other people, like what might they think of me, right? It's really one of the most prevalent things that, again, we change the moment we think someone's listening, kind of thing, right? So what can you do? As always, like my favorite pointer, and it can depend a bit on the person, is of course always to check first of all in with your body. If your body had a change in its way of being, depending on the context. So a very common scenario is you're great as long as you're on your own. The moment other people are there, you're like, ooh, something in you shrinks, or something in you closes down, something in you tightens up, because you're just not sure if it's safe to be fully yourself around other people, right? I know for some people, if you're very attuned to your breath, you might notice your breathing is changing. It could be your shoulders going up to your ears, even if it's not like that, but just a tiny bit. For me, it's similar. For me, it's linked to how tight my body is. So for me, it's not separate. But for some people, you might experience like, oh, yeah, actually, I'm good in my body, but that feeling, it's doing exactly that. And of course, the best way to change it, get out of it, is by becoming more and more aware of when that happens. Like just noticing when your state changes. Like when you're going from, oh, I'm being myself here, expressing myself freely. I can say whatever I want, I can do whatever I want, to, I'm censoring here and I'm not sure, I don't even know if I should share this or, put the thing out there. Noticing that, and sometimes you might only notice it in hindsight. I find especially with the things where we're like, oh damn, I wish I had said that, or why didn't I do that? But even noticing that, or maybe you want to write it down, can be super helpful then to catch yourself next time earlier when you go into, how I like to call it, self-censorship. I'm like, I think I've been here before, like what can I do this time differently? So that's, of course, always the first step, is like noticing when you do it. And all the wonderful practices that are out there, right, to help you be present or in the moment and in your body, of course, they help you with all these things. But apart from those, I don't know, I would say even they only get you that far, because it is this in the moment noticing. And that is practice, right? It's practice. You get better at it over time. And the last bit then is to see, and again, I always come back to the ease in your body. That's how I function, but I think it works for many people. Otherwise, let me know what your way is. To notice how you can stay in that more open, relaxed, connected state, and what helps you to stay in it longer. I find it very difficult to use anything particular to help me get back into it. I can only do it through noticing I'm not in it. And I've tried it in the past to use the pebble in your pocket, or soothing touch and things like that. They're all very useful, but maybe more when you're really triggered. But in the moment, in a conversation, in your day-to-day, when you just want to get on with it and you're just not as flowy and easily doing it as you would. Like, I literally only send an attention, like, can I invite more ease? Is my body feeling safe? Like, what do I need? And just bringing back that feeling of, we're actually good here. There's nothing to worry about. I can just be myself. Even if someone says something I disagree with or I don't like, instead of thinking about, what could I retaliate, or what, how, or can I leave the situation earlier? If I just come back to myself, recenter myself, and I have no other way in saying it's a energetic, a feeling thing, right? And that's why I'm so big when you have to get these things really like rock solid in your body, because then it's easier to go back to them. That's when you find your answers. That's when you find how you want to behave. That's when you find what to do in a situation. That's when you like can let go of all these strategies and perfect morning routines and, you know, all the stuff that has a place, but there's also a place where you just want to let go of all these things and just trust yourself that you do know how to navigate it, right? You have, again, of course, you need to build your capacity to get there. So if you're not yet, that's perfectly fine. You use all the strategies, really getting your nervous system flexible, really getting familiar with, okay, this is what ease feels like. This is what relaxation feels like. That's what safety feels like. That's what, natural, like healthy self-expression feels like. And once you've done that a few times and it's in your body, then it becomes much more of a navigation of, am I in, am I out, am I in, am I out? And usually it's not more than a breath, or it just is simply coming back to you. That's why I keep saying to yourself, to your center, and be like, okay, this is me. How would me, without paying any attention to anyone outside on the outside, react to this? Or how do I want to be? Like, what feels good to me? And then you do that. Whatever you have to say or not say, whatever you have to do or not do, that's when you really start to follow yourself. When you've built yourself to the point of, okay, that's me actually. And to go back to my original point about creatives and authenticity, I wouldn't say naturally all creatives, but, you know, the particular type of person, you might be you if you're watching this, who's creative, sensitive, maybe caring. There's a particular type of personality that creativity is just one aspect. I do think many of us, and certainly it's been told me many times, and I've seen it in others, that yes, we can be very authentic naturally, because everything that's not us just feels weird to us. So we kind of have a radar for that. It might be because we are highly sensitive, that we just know, it's not quite me here, like this is off. And also, and I'm making assumptions here, I don't know that for sure, if it is just a high sensitivity, or I mean, we could speculate about, is it CPTSD or is it whatever, genes or whatever, could be many reasons. But we feel the contrast, we feel, that's why I think many of us, we've been drawn at some point to creativity, to creative expression, because it felt like we finally felt like, oh, there's one way, one area where we actually can be us, and everything that isn't just feels weird. And that's why for today, tomorrow, forever, for the rest of your life, the big game is really like, how much can you have that, or have it go into all areas of your life? Like what do you need? What do you need? And it always comes back to your body feeling okay with it. Wherever your body needs to feel safe, to be totally okay. Okay, let me just do me, right? Whatever happens, whatever someone's reaction is, I'm gonna do me. That's your task. I would love to know how you're getting on.